And then my doctor was like, okay, I'll look, but this is the last time. This is the fourth time this month. You've come to me with a sore in that. Oh, are we live?
Well, that's when I got him with the old goose,
Brain.
the old back brain where you just bunch it all together.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wow.
Oh,
Reese, just call out shots.
Reese has had a day.
Calling out
Is
shots.
this what we do now?
This is what we do now, apparently. It's who we are.
Like last week, I surprised everybody with shots. This week, Reese surprises everybody with shots.
To be fair, I meant to take it before we started, but here we are.
The opportunity rises.
Cheers from Wolf Brother. Slancha Wolf Brother.
Slant you too.
Well, let's see. What's going on?
Welcome to the Black Tower Podcast. A Wheel of Time podcast.
And the Black Tower podcast means Wheel of Time discussions, as it were. But you know what? Real quick, I just want to take a minute. Reese, how you doing? What's new with you? What's going on in the queendom of Reese?
Let's see.
I'm sorry, did I get that right? Is it a queendom or?
I mean, I haven't really thought about it too much.
It could be like a shire.
Yeah, maybe? I mean,
or
I will say we're
maybe a principality.
Leadership at this time is not determined, but we are a sovereign nation.
We are sovereign. We'll put our borders wherever the fuck we wanna. We're a
sovereignless sovereignty. We're a sovereign with a TBD to sovereign.
We're a sovereignty.
We're sovereigning all over this tea.
Yeah.
Strange ladies handing out swords from a lake is no basis for a form of government.
Oh my God. Okay. So Reese is sovereigntying all over it. Andrew, what's new with you, buddy? How's things going in your murder shack? I mean, your kidnapping shack. I mean, your ice cream truck. I mean, your candy van. I mean, sorry.
I don't really like the implications that are going on here. So none of that is going on.
Right.
Though I did tint the windows of the palisade for an unrelated reason. And it looks great. It looks great. I love having an SUV where you can like completely limo tint out the back half of the car. So that's great. Now if only I can convince them that like I'm photosensitive so I can get like everything tinted, that would be great. Because here's the thing, like if I do get pulled over for speeding, I don't want this to be a long interaction. I just want you to either let me go or take me out. Just fucking make it happen. I don't want to talk. I'm socially awkward. I'm just going to get myself in more trouble if we have a conversation, officer. The longer we talk, the bigger that fine's going to be, all right? Leave me alone. But no, a lot of the like rainstorms that have been coming through like North Carolina here recently have been like surprisingly like thick is the only way I can describe it.
Girthy.
It's fucking girthy. Just fucking Mother Nature be taking a girthy piss on us. Because like I had to go and I had to do like an annual follow up with like my neuro specialist. And on the way there, it just started fucking pissing. And I've also noticed a difference in like how I can handle rain. How I handled it in the car versus like now like an SUV. It's so much easier to handle it in the SUV. Like the rain just like slides off. I don't know what it is. It's weird. Maybe it's because like the windshield's more upright, so it catches more air and blows more of the rain off, so it's easier to see.
You don't have as much of a spray from the cars in front of you, blowing in your face while you're driving.
That too. Maybe I just feel more comfortable too because I'm not like sitting like 3 inches above like 70 mile an hour asphalt or whatever. Well, not in the rain, officially, legally speaking.
Right.
Yeah, shit like that. That's it. Same soup, just reheated. Same shit, different toilet. Josh, what's new with you? This is a new color for the fireplace. It looks like it's a mix of green and cayenne.
This is green and cyan. This is my medicine.
Is that how you're supposed to say it? Is it supposed to be said cyan, not cayenne?
This is my TV.
I always say it like the fucking pepper.
Would it be like copyright if I put on the Dusty Wheel right now and was like?
It just depends on if
copyrighted.
It just depends on if the innkeeper like decides to claim the video. I don't know why he would. He's not going to get any money from it. All of our money comes in direct subsidy checks.
That's true.
Can he?
Well, all our money comes from Amazon.
Get demonetized via Inception.
Okay, but how bad would that be?
Every time you rewatch a scene with Logain in it, Black Tower Podcast gets 3 cents.
I could see Matt checking his YouTube reports and being like, okay, they're gonna demonetize. What the lewd and crude humor? What happened? I was like that
Your
lady
account
on
has
your
been
show was talking
your
about
content has been featured in violation of TOS. Made
anyway,
dick jokes. Made dick jokes about who?
I just wanted to take a second just to remind everybody that I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but we do have a thing happening soon in October.
Thing, yeah.
I know this is ringing a bell. Real quick, it's a little event. You may have heard of it called The Gathering Fucking Madness. That's right. That's this year's logo. Go to the page.
Just peek through the crack, Reese.
No.
Just peek through the crack.
Right. Oh yeah. Down, go down.
There we
Move
go.
your head down a little bit.
I don't want to.
I still like the version of that logo with the leaf curtains.
Oh, with the leaf? I sent them both. Did you not get them both?
Did you? No. I don't know where you sent it. This one I already had downloaded for some other reason. I don't know why.
Well, you know what? I'll give you a leaf curtain. Because the Sora von Mahale giveth, the Sora von Mahale taketh.
The Sora von Mahale giveth you leaf curtains, the Sora von Mahale taketh away your leaf curtains.
Actually, it's probably more like the Eighth von Mahale would be the giver and taker of leaf curtains.
Imagine you just wake up after the Gathering Madness and there's just a note, your leaf curtains have been repossessed by the Eighth von Mahale.
Guys, have I told you about my new level of laziness with plant care?
Oh no.
I got a literal aquarium and put like a filter with like an air pump and a grow light so that I literally don't have to do anything. There's just like a tank full of water for these little babies to grow in. And I do nothing except occasionally top off the water. And they're actually growing like significantly better than they were before. So.
Absolute perfection.
So you treat your plants more like cats and they grow better.
I told them not to depend on me.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Most people say you can lean on me when you're not strong. Where he says, "Get the fuck away."
Lise has a Nirvana approach to it, which is if you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to ask someone else first.
Just you know what, Reese helps those who help themselves.
Oh yeah. So we have some talking points real quick on the Gathering Madness 2025 real quick, provided by the event coordinator. You know her, you love her, and if you don't, you should. The illustrious Leia, the Roof Mistress.
She's actually right here, right now. You just can't see her because she's Aiel.
Yeah. Well, it's because the camera didn't ask leave to enter Leia's hole.
Heyo.
So, Gathering Madness is going to be in Ogden, Utah, from October 17th through the 19th. The venue is going to be the Alaskan Inn and Spa. It's a pretty dope area, and we'll have more for that coming up. There's a bunch of details already on the Gathering Madness website, which is blacktowerpod.com/TGM Tango Golf Mike, or they grab meat, however you want to use a phonetic alphabet.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was trying to think of a way to make it go with like tug my wiener, but those letters don't work.
Those are the wrong letters. Those are the wrong letters.
So cool news. We have a discount for you to reserve your rooms at the Alaskan Inn and Spa. 20% off the cost of your room. Here's the catch. You have to call the Alaskan Inn and Spa. Not a code that you can use online to book. You can go to their website. Again, it's linked on the Gathering Madness webpage, which again it's in the show notes and description here for this. But you're gonna have to call them to get the discount, to get the 20% off for their stuff. And you're gonna want it. Trust us, you're gonna want it. You're gonna want it.
Call.
Yeah, sorry, introverts. You're gonna have to pick your poison and make the call.
Yeah, so you guys know that
if you really need help, we might be able to work something out to kind of help things out, and on a case by case basis. Maybe we'll see. I can't guarantee, but Yeah.
So the thing is they do. You know how we like to support small business. when we do the Gathering Madness. And in this particular case, it's the Alaskan Inn. It's kind of a standalone place.
And spa.
It's
Don't
not a
forget the
chain.
spa. You
It's
can
a
get a massage
locally
at the
owned
spa.
place, and it's awesome. And you guys, it's going to be worth every penny. Like,
Yeah.
please come out. Once again, feel free to share a room with someone if you want to. Get your own room if you want to. But we've got a 20% discount
Yeah,
for you.
that's nuts. That's nuts on a discount for like any kind of overnight lodging or any lodging venue, period. The views are amazing. The area is amazing. Josh has already been out there physically and seen it. We're going to talk a lot more about this because the other part of this announcement is this coming Friday, as we're recording this. So on the 15th of August at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be doing a very public live stream where we will be talking about all things Gathering Madness 2025, answering questions. It is the best time to just show up, throw a question in the chat, ask away, we'll answer it. But so there's that where you're going to get a lot more information. We're going to try to show some pictures of the Alaskan Inn and Spa, all that kind of fun stuff. Talk about the events we're going to have, all that kind of stuff. But we want to get as much information out as early as possible because people have to budget. Money and budgeting is important. Money is unfortunately important. But ticket
money. If you happen to be going with
ticket prices for those of you that will be there in person, a $60 ticket, 60 per person. That gets you all kinds of stuff. It gets you into all of our events. It gets you breakfast while you're there. Josh is going to be doing one of his signature meals, a Sorvan Mahale feast. It gets you that. And we're going to be doing, we did 2 rivers axe throwing last year. This year, we're going to be going back to the ye old archery. So we're going to be doing that. And this in-person ticket covers you for that, for getting in and doing the archery. So this is super dope. It gets you a bunch of stuff. And if you can't come in person, virtual, we still got you covered there. We're going to have virtual panels and that stuff again. Virtual tickets, $13 a person. And if you just go on over to blacktowerpod.com/TGM, click the link to go there down below. Whatever you want
if you go to blacktowerpod.com and then click the Gathering Madness logo, it'll take you
There's that too.
to the page.
So, however you get there, you can scroll down and at the page outlines a lot of the stuff. We're still working on the schedule. We'll post that out as soon as we have it. But there's buttons there where you can easily click and buy either your in-person or your virtual ticket, that kind of stuff. If you have any issues or questions or whatever, by all means, reach out to us. You can hit us up directly on any of our socials. You can hit us up in Discord, or you can hit us up via email at blacktowerpod@gmail.com. We're not going to spend any more time on that, though, because we're doing the whole big shebang this Friday. Again, 8 p.m. Eastern, Friday, August 15th.
If you're watching live. If you're not watching live, you can still click the link in the chat, and it will take you back to the video that we recorded live.
Yeah, you can go back and watch and skip through and see if your question was asked. And if not, hit us up. Ask us the question. We have no problem getting back to you and answering. That being said, as excited as we all are, I mean, look at this logo. Come on. Skip. Kudos to the Sorvan Mahale for...
Oh,
look at this. Look at this madness.
This is like the only thing he's done in 5 months. I mean, the coolest thing he's done in 5 months.
No. You were right the first time.
No. You've done a lot. You always do a lot. But... Sweet. So we're having all of that. Links to the live and the TGM webpage are down below in the show notes and description. So you can click straight, if you're watching this, you can click straight from here to go there because this episode will be going live conveniently this same day that we're doing the live stream. So it's a little bit of a good thing for this.
Is it? Are we doing it the same day?
Yeah.
Oh.
So in addition to that, going over, check out blacktowerpod.com. It's all of your stuff, Black Tower Podcast. It's got all of our socials. It's got Dragonborn on demand where you can watch the 5 most recent episodes, listen to a bunch of the most recent episodes in just pure podcast format. If you're just browsing and just like, you know what, I want to go to one spot where I can click and have it all. Our merch stores are also there for both new creations by Jen and our spreadshirt. So go and check those out. There's forums there. I keep getting emails about there being weird shit in the forums because there's bots, but whatever. It's there. Have fun. If they're bothering us, they're not bothering somebody else or some bullshit like that. Yeah. So let's do. Oh yeah, that's great. I turned off all of the letters from. Oh no, I didn't. I was like, which spoiler warning is it? I have images on my Stream Deck for all the spoiler warnings, and every time I restart the computer, the images go away.
Oh.
And I have to click on them in the Stream Deck software from the show. Elgato, fix your shit. Why does the Stream Deck do this? Makes no fucking sense. 15 buttons, but you can't keep one fucking picture up. Why? Fix it.
15 buttons, but a pick ain't one. Fix it.
Oh, shit!
Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into the spoiler warning for this episode so we can get started right here, right now for this here episode. Are y'all ready? Ready for the spoiler warning? Here we go.
Welcome to the Black Tower, a Wheel of Time podcast. Alright, let's check this one. This podcast will likely be spoiling books 1 through... Oh, what's this? An envelope addressed to me. No name, though. Let's see what's inside. Oh my. This podcast will likely spoil all the books in the series, and apparently being a Patreon will expose you to information that should be left unseen. Protect yourself by pulling that spoiler condom all the way on. And I need a drink. That's way more of Andrew than I have ever wanted to see. Why would you braid it down there?
Why wouldn't you? I hear jealousy, not criticism. All right. So, for today's episode, we are getting a bit into the weeds of... It's not quite metaphysics.
Oh, I'm so excited for this one, though.
It is kind of in the realm of theory, but it's more like discussing like political history or philosophical history than it is any kind of other fucking whatever.
I love this.
Because there's tangible things we can point to. I mean, well, there generally is when we talk about this stuff, but it's not like an ethereal kind of concept of, how does the binding rod / oath rod actually fuck everybody over in the world because piece of shit item that nobody should use anymore because it's horrible.
Right, there's objective, there's subjective opinions to be made about many of the mechanics in the Wheel of Time.
I love how I'll say that, and like our outline says, lighthearted welcome. So that's your lighthearted welcome. What is a nation in the Age of the Dragon Reborn? We're going to throw the Reborn on there because it's not the second age, it's the third age. The second dragon to some, but the millionth dragon to others. It just depends on perspective.
Third age.
So
It's shocking.
mainly we're going to focus. Yeah, mainly we're going to focus on 3 key nations that we get a lot of info for. We're going to focus on Tyr, Andor, and Illian.
Oh.
And their political, cultural, and military changes under the rule of Rand al Thor, the Dragon Reborn, Lews Therin, trying to not be Kinslayer.
Can I talk a little bit about Saldea?
Yeah, we can definitely do others as well.
Okay,
These might be the main 3 big ones. Just like your testicles, there's 3 main ones, and there might be other small ones.
And then there's the secondary testicles. Yes, you lose your baby testicles when you hit puberty, and then
just like your teeth,
your adult testicles grow in. Yeah.
You may not know this, but if you have like a son, you might need to be aware of this if you didn't know. But eventually, the baby testicles will just fall out as the adult ones grow in.
I thought it was just the tip.
No, you.
That one happens too.
Welcome to the Black Tower podcast, where we never get distracted by anything ever.
All right.
We're always so focused.
All right, let's get into this first section and just talk about the world in general before Rand al Thor as the Dragon Reborn, the kind of state of the world, and kind of just how the nations are existing. I mean, so leading up to all this, in the years since the breaking of the world, where the literal landscape was changed, mountains replaced seas, seas replaced mountains, and after your mom, they created the second deepest gash in the world with that trench over there. Like that. You have all that go through, and then you have an entire world that's trying to reassess its borders, its boundaries, figure out where they lie, and how they're going to survive. I mean, we get the stories of Manetheren maintaining a massive swath of control over the land that now is a part of modern-day Andor. We just have so many different countries that change over the time in the Wheel of Time. Why did my brain just decide to blank on where I was going with that? Y brain. We had here it is. We had the rule of Otter Hawkwing, who basically unified the entirety of the Westlands with the exception of Tar Valon. And he spent his final days laying siege to Tar Valon and being the stubborn guy that could have just said, hey, they're actually not that bad. They could actually save me from dying, and just went, no, I don't want to. And then he died. Children, well, one of his children was successful because they invaded, conquered, and created what is modern day Shanchan, which, if you ever wondered why the origin of the Shanchan wanting to collar all Aes Sedai, that's where it comes from. Because at the time that Ultra Hawkwing's children took over, it was, fucking, they hated the Aes Sedai. The other child, not successful. Sarah had a little bit more going for it, you know? It was like invading Russia in the winter. Just fucking don't. So, yeah, just fucking don't. So we've had everything go through like these massive changes in political structure and power. I mean, obviously you had Ultra Hawkwing that was like just ruled everything as a singular monarch, which reminds me kind of like the Great Roman Empire under Alexander the Great, right? I'm thinking of the wrong thing. That's not the Great Roman Empire. What was Alexander's empire called?
The Persian Empire? No. What was it? Damn.
I don't know. Change name. Julius Caesar, the Great Roman Empire.
There we go.
We're just going to change the name instead of like the name of the empire.
Greek.
Was it the Macedonian Empire? The Greek Empire?
Yeah.
Well, kind of the same thing happens in both, right? Like you have this overarching powerful figure that rules this massive swath, this massive empire, and everything seems to be going like largely fine, and then they die. Other people fight over who's going to rule the lands after, and it gets broken up, blocked up into different areas. Like the Roman Empire got separated into the Eastern and Western Roman Empire, and eventually the Eastern Roman Empire, after it shrunk down, became like the Ottoman Empire. All this shit happened. It's the way things go for empires, apparently. So there's that. So we're left with the modern map of the Westlands, which if I was smart, I would have a political map of the Westlands ready and available, but I don't. But it'd only take me a second because Google is good.
Google is so good.
Fucking Google is good.
Google's good, okay?
Yeah. Oh, well, that's an older map. So I'm Manethrin and shit. Open map, a new tab. Luckily, I hit it. All right. Yeah. So, after all this kind of settles out, we are left with so you've got Terabon and Amadisia, you've got Altara, Illian, Murundi, Tyr, Andor, you've got Eret Domon, you've got Saldea, you've got Arafel, you've got Shinar, and you've got Kandor, and Kyrian, and Maim. Now you have some other areas that aren't necessarily expressly claimed, like there's a massive area north of Andor that's just called the Corling Grass, which includes like the areas of like Tar Valon, and butts up against like Saldea and up against the Borderlands, basically, that, you know, people kind of back and forth claim. I think Andor takes a lot of responsibility for near Andor kind of governance and security, but they don't do much. Farmatting kind of exists in an area that, if I remember correctly, doesn't really... If I remember correctly, and I'm looking at in this map is correct, isn't really identified as its own nation necessarily. It's like another big area of just kind of unclaimed land that nobody really wants to be responsible for yet, or they're too busy fighting each other, because, you know, Tyr and Illian are just going to keep fighting each other whenever they could just kind of, you know, move north, and there's a whole bunch of land that they could work on, but called the Haddon Merc. Down at the southwest, you have the Shadow Coast, and then in between Terabon and Eret Domon, you have the Almouth Plain, which has like notable cities. Like it's got the Toman Head area, it's got Falma, and it's got Qatar with a K, not to be confused with Qatar with a Q in the Middle East. So you got all these areas, but you still got massive parts of the world that aren't... Oh, and I forgot Geldon. You still have Geldon. It's like dead center of the map. I don't know how I missed it. This is a really cool looking map. I mean, it's a hand-drawn map. It looks really good. I wish I knew the artist name because I'd give you credit, but I don't, so I can't.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So... so this is just okay, I found another map that also says all that area is unclaimed, so we're good. Did they do? Oh, and they did the Eric Demont flag right. Good on you. I'm proud of you. Whoever drew this map. Yeah. So you've got at the point we start the book, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 nations, right? Yeah. 14 independent nations. You get a little bit of weirdness between Andor and Kyrian, where there's like a bit of a link between the two, but not exactly. Like it's just fucking kind of weird. Like they're independent, but they're co-reliant. Actually, add one count, whatever, because Maine counts as its own country, even though there's a ton of unclaimed land next to it. So, have I rambled on enough to make it sound like we know what we're talking about?
I think so. I mean, I feel like you know what you're talking about. So by
I mean,
association, I do too.
I
the
stopped listening
the
Yeah.
like
politics of
20
this,
years ago.
right? The politics of this shit. Honestly, like I really enjoy it. Like whenever like I had when I first started running into people that have read the series and they're like, "Oh, Elaine's secession arc, I hate it so much." I'm like, I thought it was one of the more entertaining, not action scenes in the entire thing, but I'm weird like that. So as far as governance, you have a lot of monarchies. Everything's kind of like running on these very embedded local traditions at this point. Uh, Changes, especially through diplomatic measures, are really slow to happen. Nothing happens fast. Illian and Tyr are a fantastic example of that. They've been arguing about borders forever, even though their borders aren't actually touching, which is like the main thing they're arguing about because they disagree on where their borders should be touching, even though they're not touching at all. Um, and the legitimacy of the rulers is generally based on either their bloodline. In the case of like a noble run area that's just run through succession of nobles like Andor or Kyrian or places like that, oaths that they take or oaths that have been taken on behalf of them, or just long-standing alliances like the rule of Maine has like ruling legitimacy both because of bloodline, but also because of standing alliances with Illian. Yeah, or not Illian with Tyr. So there's that.
One of the other kind of defining factors that I always find interesting is the cultural aspect. You know how the nations are they're so even if the peoples themselves are very diverse in how they look, their culture ends up being very rigid from border to border. Like you know when you have crossed from one nation into another, like most of the time they are very like they're very defining. They're like somebody from the Shanchen, they speak very differently, they dress differently. Someone from Erdoman, same thing.
They try
Like
to give you weird necklaces.
yeah.
This would look so great around your throat. Come here, Liebchen.
But
No, I love it.
and it's not just that they're different, but they're very proud of them as well. You know, it's you can really it's very easy to offend somebody by stepping on their culture. You know, it's even without meaning to. You know, it's they're very proud and of their culture and what makes them who they
Sounds
are.
like sounds like an Illianer political meme. Like, ew, I stepped in shit, and they pick up their foot, and it's just a cartoon of like Tyrian culture.
No, I do love the idea of culture here because you've got and with respect to Rand and his influence, because once Rand enters the picture, you essentially have this like nuclear reset
Yeah.
of all, obviously not everybody, right? Because people are not a monolith and they never will be. So long as there's more than one person in the demographic, you will not have a monolith. But a vast majority of people go, oh, the dragon is reborn, and according to the prophecies, when the dragon is reborn, he will break all oaths and shatter all ties. And a lot of people take that to mean I can quit my job, I can abandon my post, I can,
The
quit.
dragon's been reborn. My debt's canceled. Fuck off.
Exactly. No, but exactly. That's how kind of people are taking it, right? And one of the places that takes this very, very seriously is a lot of the Borderlanders, because the Borderlanders have been guarding the realm against the Blight for how many hundreds of years? And the Borderlanders, once they know the dragon has been reborn, and they believe the dragon has been reborn, we see this early on with Uno and Massima and just all the people, all the Saldeans, or I'm sorry, not the Saldeans, the Shinarans that leave with Rand at the end of I have the world. At some point in time, they have the conversation where they say, "Oh, you got to go back to Shinar," and they're like, "No, you are the Dragon Reborn. You have broken all oaths and shattered all ties," which means all the oaths that we swore to defend the realm against the blight, null and void. We swear a new oath now to the Dragon Reborn to lead us against the shadow in at Tarmangaiden.
Doesn't
That's a pretty
Kandor's military do the same thing? Like in
huh?
like Towers of Midnight or whatever? Like is Towers of Midnight earlier? They're like one
So
of the
this is
borderland nations, like half their military rides south, and they're like,
well,
"How are you here? You swore an oath to
all
guard the borderlands."
all of the Borderlander
Yeah,
armies ride south. This is and then all the rulers and
and that's
all of
that's
the
the
Borderlander
rationale. They're
armies
like the
ride
Dragon
south.
Reborn has shattered all oaths.
And this is well the other thing is they want to see for themselves because they have their own element of the prophecy, right, that they need to
Yeah,
test to see if they're going to survive or not, which is equally as important because
they wait a while to do it. Where it's kind of like, okay, we know the dragon's been reborn. They're like,
right.
the legal precedent has been set. The oaths have been shattered.
So one of the pieces of this
The
that I like,
border
that I
remains
really, and this is why
unguarded.
I said I want to talk about Saldea a bit, is because you've got Rand who takes Rodolai Teralda and a military force, puts him up in the borderlands, and says the Saldean army has fled. I don't know why they're down here, but they're down here. I need you to do their job until I can figure out what the hell they're doing. So Rodal
Yep, that guy.
Itaralda,
It's Rodal Interlude.
Rodal
Oh, it
Interlude,
was like rotary interlube.
Introludre, uh, defends against this
Interludra.
massive Trolloc attack. And he's all the while he's retreating back towards the city called Maradon, right? The Lord of Maradon is Vram Torquemen. And he sent envoys to the city and he's like, hey, can we please come in? There's a massive Trolloc horde descending upon you. Can we please come in and take shelter behind your walls? And Vram Torquemen's like, no,
No.
you're a foreign military on Saldean soil. You are an invasion force, and we will not shelter you. Which is very, 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 very frustrating because obviously Shadowspawn is obviously the greater. Well, come to find out, Vram is a dark friend, and he's very much trying to make sure that Rodal dies. Rodal Itaralda is escorted into Rotor Inner Team.
You know the great Captain Rotor Interlube
Ro-
tube?
they are finally let into Maradon by a Saldean captain Yoeli. Yoeli? Uh,
Yodelahihu?
Yoeli. And Rodolai Teralda, they have this conversation because Yoli says, I'm a traitor. My lord said to not permit you in, but I couldn't stand by and let you be overrun by Trollocs. And Rodolai Teralda's like, hey, don't worry about it. The dragon's got you. And he's like, no, 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 no. I want to be executed. I was a traitor to my people. And Rodolai Teralda's like, no, 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 no. Dude, the Dragon Reborn has broken all oaths and broken all ties. You are good. All you need to do is swear fealty to the dragon. And Yoli is one of these people that's like, no, my oath means something. Just because this guy exists doesn't all of a sudden mean that my oath doesn't count. And I think this is really kind of cool because it shows the two sides of the conversation, right? Right there in that one interaction. You've got Yoli and Rodal, and they're having this conversation, and Yoli's like, no, dude, it's no, my oath still means something to me. And Rodal's like, we'll worry about that later. Right now we got, a million Trollocs to kill.
Yeah, like we'll deal with your pride after you've helped us out, okay?
But
One
also
hell of like a name combination right there. Yoli
right.
Rodal.
Yoli Rodliu. But here's the other thing though, is like the weirdness of Yoli being like, yeah, I'm gonna die for letting you guys in. But Rodal's main military force is like people from Arad Doman, people from Domani citizens. Like he's got Arafellan citizens. He's got
It's
a
the fourth great
hodgepodge
Shinobi War.
of different nations represented in his military group. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. Rodal, you can't triple stamp a double stamp.
Oh. No, I love it.
And I think the other part of it, aside from these, the military oaths that are broken, are the refugees from the wars. They are forced from their homes. They're forced
Mm.
from,
Right.
their borders, and they take their culture with them. And so you have this kind of cultural breaking of the world where the land is still okay for now, but the borders, the peoples have to move.
But
And
a lot of them also join the militaries as they go by because they're like,
Correct.
there gets a point where the refugees are like, everywhere's full, no one has food, except for the people following the weird guy from Andor with red hair. They kind of have food.
The
We're
great
all gonna
Andorian
die
Ginger.
anyway. I might as well die with something sharp and pokey in my hand that's not my wiener. So let's fucking go.
Mm, Here,
I
here.
love it. But I like to the culture point you made earlier, just super quick. It's one of the things I latched onto early on in this series that I loved is, this is one of the, and it's one of the reasons I had so many issues with the people that had such a problem with the race of the cast of the TV show, is that the entirety of the Wheel of Time focuses on the only difference between nations is the culture. Like
Yeah.
there are like physical features that are annotated to certain people, but it's never skin color. It's other features like hair color, eye color, which can be found across any and all races. Robert Jordan, I think, deliberately went above and beyond to as much as he, for the most part, reasonably could, with the exception of like Tuon and the Sea Folk potentially, uh, given the way they're described in the environment they lived in. Which doesn't really work well for the IL argument considering the environment they lived in. But he tried, I think, to focus on culture differences. Like, hey, it's the things about your nation, like your accents, your customs, the way your military works and is done, your traditions. That's what makes you a nation. It has nothing to do with your skin color, and that's not what anybody should be focused on. And I loved it. And then the TV show came about, and people decided to be dicks about it because it didn't match their head canon. Because, and I'm like, fuck you. Eula Smart's a perfect Avienda. You can fuck off. Anyway,
Correct.
because I know we're getting kind of short on time, and I don't want to super rush too much of this. I also don't want to part to it because I don't feel like there's quite enough to part to it.
Mhm.
Speaking
No,
of
there.
governing, me making decisions. I mean, there could be, but
Well, if I may, one of the things I liked
Yeah, yeah.
about the kind of refugee cultural part was actually in the Two Rivers itself, because we go back to the Two Rivers multiple times throughout
Yeah.
the story. And I think it's so cool that every time you go back, there's something new. Like, the town is nearly destroyed. And when they come back, instead of just thatched roofs, they have tiles, and there's lacquered signs, and there's all different types. Like
Yeah.
they've
Fuck you,
like
Sin Buoy.
stepped forward, and
Go thatch your roofs in, buoy.
yeah, like there's progress that has
That's
come
these
from
nuts.
people that came through the mountains. These refugees that came from other nations that came to the Two Rivers, and they're like, oh well, we don't want to just come here, we can help, we'll help rebuild
Mhm.
too. And in doing so, they wove their cultures together. And so when our team comes back, you can see that actual progress right
Well,
before you.
and some of their like kind of like rivals or whatever, like the Terran ferrymen and stuff.
Yes, Terran.
Like the people that they're like they have regional rivalry with, become good friends because they show up in a time of need. I mean,
Mhm.
in like a very super incredibly rare instance of like actually doing something good for the story, Fayo goes out and gathers these people to come help, and they show up, and like the Two Rivers are like, I never thought I'd see the day I'd fight beside a Terran ferryman, which is funny because
I'd
like
come
from
and
the
steal my
reader,
weapon rather than fight with it.
yeah. Yeah. But it's funny for us as the readers because we have like this top down overarching view that the world is going to shit. Meanwhile, there's still fucking crotchety asshole Sindui being like, I never thought I'd fight with a fucking Terran farrier. Ah, you guys live right next to the river. Oh, hoity-toity fancy guy.
Yeah.
Look at me, I have a river. I
It-
get the riverfront property he cannot afford. Great success.
yeah, that's a good point. Kind of, mildly off topic. We do. We get this kind of like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. It's the last battle. But to a lot of the people, it's like life goes on. They still got to wake
Yeah.
up. They got to make
For some of
breakfast.
them,
They got to
it's
go
weird.
and tend the fields and keep everything going. Like, yeah, some people go on their journeys, but the rest of the people are like, okay, we're going to, get all the crops gathered, but you let us know when we should fight, okay? Like,
It's this weird thing because the more centralized or closer to the middle of the Westlands you are, the more insulated you are from the world going to shit. Because at the north you have the increase in the activity from the shadow, and then on the east and southern coast you got the Shan Chan just fucking flipping shit out, going fucking balls to the wall on everything. Like I mean, if you look at a map, they look at a little chode, a little Dick Nubbins hanging off in the ocean with Falma right on the tip, like a thing, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna go for that. And then after that, they go further down. And they're like, okay, going for the Dick tip too much. We need to go for North Harbor, if you know what I mean. So they go for Abu Dar, a little harder to find. But but in between all that, like we get a lot of views of like the land battles with the Shan Chan, but what is talked about, but I don't think gets enough coverage, is they're waging a massive siege and war on the seas, and they're winning because the sea folk have not been challenged in the Westland seas like ever. It's just trade. Like they're not really warfaring vessels; they're trade vessels. And the Shan Chan show up with 80 cannons on one side of their ship, and the cannons being demone because they're monsters, but fucking yeehaw, fire the demone.
Yeehaw!
Kind of thing. Anyway, so for the three main cities, which I do love the inclusion of Salde. That was fantastic. Josh, I love you. Fantastic. You wasted my time, but it was fantastic. No, it was great. It was great. I love that you had the names, everybody, because I'm sitting there like I don't fucking remember these names at all. Good,
I
well on you,
did
sir. Good
just
on you.
read this segment today, so
Look at this. New house, new Josh. Look at that. Motherfucker came with receipts.
I'm all organized and shit now.
For now. Join me next week when it all falls apart.
Yeah.
All right, so let's Tyr. So Tyr is known as a very staunchly conservative, and I mean that in the literal sense of the word, not the Americans, a conservative nation. Before Rand, it's ruled by High Lords that have a deep distrust of Chandlers, including the populace don't trust Chandlers at all, especially men, which I think is a little bit fair. It's kind of warranted. The last time men channeled, they turned seas into mountains and mountains into seas. They kind of fuck things up,
Yeah, look,
a little bit.
the prejudice exists for a reason, and
In this
can't
case, I
affect-
think it's understandable. Like
It's
prejudice
warranted.
is never justifiable, but you can understand where things come from and still disagree with them overall. We also have the benefit of the doubt again of having that big top-down view. Stone of Tyr for them is a symbol of invincibility since Tyr has been formed. Since that stone was erected right there, big, tall, strong, hard, it never got flaccid once.
Not
It
one.
has never fallen in history. I
Mhm.
mean, they just kept force feeding the masonry fucking Viagra, I swear.
You
Um,
should
exactly
call
what
a
it was.
doctor for that, but no.
Yeah. Oh god. But then also like for their economic gain, they have control of the River Aran, the entrance for the River Aran. You give me a fucking map where I can actually see fucking rivers.
No.
Apparently not. I don't know why this is so hard. Open image in new tab, and it's a fucking QR code. If only I could pull a map down from my wall and look at it more closely. Open image in new tab. Is this one? Nope. Fuck it. Anyway, so Tyr controls the entrance to the River Aran, which is a massive river that will go and snake through the Westlands up into the interior of the Westlands. So it's a massive amount of economic control that they're able to access. It's like, I don't know, controlling something like the Suez Canal or something like that, and not blocking it with something
Yeah.
called the Evergreen,
Right.
which is a really terrible ship for a ship that, moves goods and burns a bunch of oil. Why is it called the Evergreen? It makes anyway.
It's
So
tongue
they-
in cheek.
Tongue in
Welcome
cheek
to the
humor.
horticulture
The Evergreen.
podcast.
Really, it looks more like the realm of the Fen. What's up with that? So they have a ton of economic power just by charging like a toll, if you will, for access in and out of the river Aranon.
Yeah.
I keep saying Aaron, but because I'm fucking blind. Let me zoom into 1,000 Aranon. There we go. Rand shows up, fulfills a prophecy by taking Kalendor, breaking the taboo on male channelers, and demonstrating that their invincible fortress, their symbol of like we've never fallen before in history, falls.
You guys are cute.
Yeah. Oh, you thought you were invincible? Why don't you take on the power of 100% Andor made Taviran?
100% Dragon Reborn, brother. You
I'm gonna take your stone of tear. I'm gonna make your stone of tear cry. I'm gonna pull tears.
Yeah, brother. You think you're
then-
invincible? Well, the Dragon Reborn is here to show you that you're invincible, brother.
Look at what you need to mimic even a fraction of my power. It's a great reference if you've watched Invincible on Amazon. You should, because it's fantastic.
How do I read the face? That's the neat part. You don't.
You don't.
I love that meme.
Just hold your... Yeah.
How do I
everything.
go to work and be happy every day and not want to drink when I get home? That's the neat part.
The neat part.
You don't.
So fulfills that, but then he also at this point, attempting to garner favor the High Lords of Tyr that have been governing Tyr and just being shitbags at it, like a fucking modern kindergarten government. Which is all I'm gonna leave it at that because we don't do those kind of commentaries here. The High Lords are like, we surrender Tyr to you, O Lord Dragon. And they're expecting to get like all these like praises and lauds. And Rand's like, cool. How about you do your fucking job? And they're like, huh? You mean go oil my beard some more? You mean go scheme behind each other's back? And he's like, no, actually govern the fucking people in a way where they're represented.
What?
And I'm pretty sure within like the first bit of like trying to force the High Lords to actually do their job, like half of them abandoned the city to become rebels. Because they're lucky. This is early Rand that's not ready to throw everybody in a noose. Like, he wasn't going to hang everybody from the start at this point. Like, Tyr got the early soft dragon treatment. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Viagra is, like, kind of starting to work. But he just took it, like, 15 minutes ago. It's not fully there. And you got the fluffers.
I just took a blue chew.
Yeah. And you got the fluffers on either side, right? You got Tom and Moraine just fluffing on the side, being like, I'll fucking shank you.
I really thought you were about to say Min.
Min wasn't on the side. She was fucking
she's not
riding
a side
full pony.
She's the main light. What?
But anyway, like Rand forces them to turn their focus from infighting to governance. And they don't like it because they're like, why should we have to cater to the peasantry? And it's like, because without them, you have nothing. Yeah. And they're like, what do you mean? We just tell the peasants to do it, and they do it, and that's how it works. We feel like keeping a beard properly oiled can be a full-time job. It can.
Depends on what you're using to oil it.
Hey-o.
So with this, there comes Rand, he changes the way some of the courts work and how commoners and the merchants of the city of Tyr can bring about issues, and they can bring them actually finally to the government. Be like, hey, can we fix this? And it redistributes authority to give more influence to the commoners and the merchants, which causes even more High Lords to leave, which initially Rand's like, what the fuck? But then he's like, actually, this is way easier now that they're gone. This is perfect.
You know what? I like it like this.
And all the ones that like are just shitbags are like now just enemies of the state. So fuck them. But then Tyr becomes the military staging ground for Rand. Rand coalesces any and all military power he gets in. This is now his seat of power, his first seat of power.
Yeah, Tyr's the first country he officially accepts rulership over.
Yeah, and that's a big distinction. He does not conquer Tyr. He basically is gifted rulership of Tyr under guise of them gaining political favor with him. And Rand, just like he did with the letters in Camelin, was like, or Ikarian, Camelin, just throws them in the fire. He's like, I don't give a fuck. They're like, that was an invite from the king, and he's like, I see no god up here but me.
We missed this in the chat, by the way, but I feel like it needs to be pointed out.
No, I pulled it up.
Oh, did you? Shows how much attention I was paying.
But it's worth pulling up twice, if you get what I mean. You have enough oil on it. The culture itself shifts, and there becomes this. You go from a culture that bans all channeling, especially fearful of male channelers, and switches over to like an almost religious fervent fear and awe of Rand al'Thor, the Dragon Reborn, a male channeler. Which on one hand is like obviously you're fucking sucking up, but also there's a gradual erosion of this anti-channeler sentiment. It's important because Tyr has a massive treasure trove of Angreal that now the forces of the light have access to start looking. So you wind up with a good question: has Tyr's national identity been broken, or has it been rebuilt? What do you think?
I mean, maybe a little of both. I mean, they were known as like a anti channeler, but I don't know, collector of artifacts, and now they are pro channeler but collector of artifacts.
You know, in a way, this sort of this culture that they created around banning channeling as well as collecting artifacts of power, or even suspected artifacts of power, because many of the artifacts in the Stone of Tyr were just worthless. But the interesting thing about this is it almost creates the perfect breeding ground for Rand to assume command, right? Because not only is he able to come in, no other channelers, no other influence from Aes Sedai or anything like that to fight against him. Because what does he run into in nearly every other country? Resistance from Aes Sedai, right? Aes Sedai being like, I'm not so sure that's a good idea. There's a lot of like, advising, a lot of wisdom, and a lot of things like that. In Tyr, they don't have that.
Yeah, it's kind of like unchecked power.
Yeah. And they've got a whole collection of objects of power that Rand and Elaine and Egwene and Avienda and Nynaeve are able to loot, basically. It's what they do. And it gives them access to not only that, but it gives Rand, Moraine, and Matt access to the Twisted Door Terangrial. Again, it's one of those things. There's the saying of, you often meet your fate on the road you take to avoid it. Tyr took the choice to walk this path to avoid the power and everything to do with it, and ended up creating the perfect scenario for the dragon to step in and not only assume command, but also arm himself and his allies with objects of the.
And the people can quickly go from being kind of like no, we're collecting these items to keep them from the people who would use them for bad, to being like, oh, here we have collected all of these items for you to use for good. And all of a sudden they're like, no, we were doing this on purpose. We knew you were coming, Lord Dragon.
We knew the dragon would be here. We've saved these for you.
Of course.
But they kind of do that though, right? They kind of try and play it off like that, like, because we were preparing for the dragon to,
right.
You know what I mean?
Of course, yes, we knew, yeah.
We figured it'd be safer.
Yeah.
So you get a massive change in just the way Tyr works, and again now it's being used as a military staging ground. Then we get Andor. Andor is incredibly unique because it gets muddled by the dragon's personal relationships. So before Rand, you have this tradition of matriarchal monarchy, with stability based upon the support of noble houses, all looking to the queen and saying, "We support you." After generally speaking, egregiously long and tiring, taxing, and normally kind of bloody secession kind of wars, whenever there's not a clear supported candidate for the queen seat, whatever, for the crown. But Andor is one of those that like many other nations, exhibits a massively strong desire to be exempt from any outside influence. They're like, hey, we're one of the biggest. Everybody else should leave us the fuck alone. If you're not from Andor, fuck off. You don't get a say. Kind of. Rand has unique connections to Andor with being from the Two Rivers, which is technically a part of Andor, even though it is culturally different and distinct, because they haven't seen a taxman from Andor in fucking decades.
6 generations.
You are my subject.
Yeah. But then he winds up with the personal ties to Elaine Tricon, the daughter heir to the throne of Andor, which
Personally tied up.
complicates. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're good. So that
Elaine.
complicates like the political alliances and the kind of stuff that Rand looks at doing. And we kind of get this because whenever Rand finally steps into Kyrian, into Kyrian and into Camelin, both are like, "You're the Dragon Reborn. Just fucking take the throne, like it's yours." And with Kyrian, he's like, "Yeah, okay, that's fine, kind of." But when it comes to Camelin, he's like, "No, this belongs to another." And in fact, him and Elaine get into a fight about it because he's like, "I'm not taking it because I want to give it to you." And Elaine's like, "The fuck you mean give it to me? It's mine by right. You're not giving me shit." Which I fucking love. I think it's fucking great because Rand this whole time is like, "I'm doing this super nice thing for my girlfriend. She's gonna be so happy. I'm gonna get laid for like the third time in my life. It's gonna be great. Here, babe, I got the crown for you." And she's like, "The fuck you mean you got what's mine for me?"
Okay, here's the thing I love about this particular thing. This is what, book 3? This was written in like the 90s.
Early 2000s,
Okay? Early 2000s, 90s.
late 90s,
And
early
you've got,
2000s.
for people that want to say, though the Wheel of Time is woke, blah blah blah. Okay, cool, maybe it is, but guess what? You've got Robert Jordan writing instances like this in which you've got Rand, who's very much being the ignorant backwoods farm boy that he is, thinking, "Oh, I got my girlfriend pretty," right? It doesn't matter
No,
if it's a
he's the
crown.
epitome of the meme of like, "Men, we don't know what we did."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't know if it's a crown. He doesn't care if it's a ring. He doesn't care if it's a fucking flower or a berry in his pocket. He got a shiny for his girl.
For a really nice silver
I kept
necklace
this.
and can't figure out
I
why
kept
he
this
doesn't
safe for
like
you,
it.
babe.
It does not think about the ramifications of the gift, right? As a dude, if you give a gift to a girl, you don't think about the ramifications of the gift. You just want your girl to be happy that you gave her a shiny. That's dude thought 101. Girl, I gave you shiny. Are you happy with shiny?
I'm
And the
so
problem
happy
is,
with shiny.
You
the,
once
the
expressed vague interest in shiny, and that stuck in my brain hole, so I give you shiny.
sometimes girl didn't want shiny, and so it's a very awkward position for girl to be in, especially in this case with Elaine, where she's like, "Motherfucker, that's mine. You can't give it to me, and even if you could, I wouldn't accept it because of the ramifications of the shiny. I need to earn this if I ever want to be respected." And it's the difference between the thought process of men and women. And it's illustrated beautifully because if a woman is given a position of authority, what does everybody think? Don't even answer that out loud. But you know what I'm thinking. If a woman is given a position of authority, you immediately think a certain thing about this woman. If a woman earns her position of authority, she has to earn it in such a way so as to remove all question that she earned it, which means she has to work that much harder to be worthy of the authority that is bestowed upon her.
Yeah.
A dude can walk in with a sword and an army and be like, "It's mine now. I give it to my girlfriend." And everybody's like, "Cool, it's yours now. Oh, you only give it to your girlfriend because she's pretty." And Rand does not understand how that undermines Elaine. And so you have this interaction that I love in the early 2000s. Like, Robert Jordan was ahead of his time. I don't care what anybody says. He was ahead of his time.
This is like, I think by the time the secession happens, I think we're like are we like mid 2000s? Semantics. Either way, it's still early for the amount of respect that's being given to like Elaine
Yeah.
and her autonomy and the power that she has of her own. Because basically, like in her view, what Rand just did is he showed up to Christmas without a gift, walked into her house, looked at her mantle, picked the fanciest, most expensive ornamentation thing she had, grabbed it, turned around and said, "Merry Christmas. Here you go." Like an absolute shitbaggery move. Meanwhile, Rand's sitting there being like, "Look at me. I did so good, making sure this was ready and safe for her. She's going to love me forever." And then immediately goes, "Oh no, I fucked up. She's mad." Like, bruh.
Oopsie.
Karen would know
It's
what
like,
to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Perrin
Perrin would have
know.
known what to done. He's married now. He knows what to do. Meanwhile, Perrin's like, my wife just killed a guy that we needed to keep alive. How the fuck do I explain this to my friend turned god emperor? Um.
I bet Matt would know what to say.
Meanwhile, Matt's just running from thugs, being like, fuck, 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 fuck. So, but so Elaine gets in, claims the throne, but obviously there's still those close ties between her and Rand. Rand still has an effect. Like he's kept the throne basically unoccupied this entire time. He's refused to wear the crown this entire time as well. Which good on you, because I'm pretty sure Elaine would have like been extra pissed if she found out you were wearing the crown. But
You should
he's still got
my
his
jean?
crown.
take off my clothes. Fine, but I'm not happy about it. And the dude storms off to take off the nightie.
Fine, I'm going, but I'll complain about it the whole time.
Yeah, but but he's still indirectly involved. He's still going to be bolstering her position because everybody knows he's throwing his support behind Elaine. So anybody that opposes Elaine is by proxy opposing the Dragon Reborn. And Elaine fucking hates it. Hates every last second of it. She's like, she's like, I had all these plans. I had all this ready. I was going to do all this on. Because there's a point where like he's basically not there and she's doing her thing and everybody kind of starts to forget that the Dragon Reborn took military control of Camelin. And then he like shows back up one day to be like, oh, I'm here to help. And she's like, you just ruined months of work. And he's like, I just fucking showed up. And she's like, exactly. That's all it takes. Because unfortunately, I'm fucking the Dragon Reborn, the fucking savior of humanity. Like, your mere presence fucks up my plans.
Yeah,
And he's
you
like,
even have a situation like this in Towers
I'm
of Midnight.
sorry, want to do sex about it?
You even have a situation like this in Towers of Midnight where Perrin and Galad sit down for parley, right? Because they're about to fight each other. And Perrin throws out,
They're talking about for the trial.
asks Galad about, have you talked to your sister lately? How's she doing? And Galad says, I don't know. I haven't talked to her in a long time. And Perrin says, well, as of a couple days ago, she had secured the Lion Throne. And, I wouldn't be surprised if she had married the Dragon Reborn, Rand, by now. And even Galad has this thought where he goes, yeah, that makes like something. And
He's always been very headstrong.
Like, yeah, she'd do that.
That's my half sister. She's got half of my tenacity.
And all of my stupidity. I'm sorry. I will die on this hill.
Galwin got all the stupid in that family.
No, Elaine.
I'm convinced Morghese makes good decisions, and Galad eventually makes good decisions because Galwin and Elaine. Okay, I'll give you that. Galwin and Elaine absorbed all the stupidity. Just Elaine had good enough friends. That's the thing. Elaine had a really good friend support network that corrected her stupidity. Galwin just had people that said yes, sir, and listened to him.
But the few people he did have that were trying to tell him, he didn't listen to.
Yeah.
He didn't listen.
Galwin is the straight out of the...
But he had no use for them. He would not.
Galwin is the direct commission officer that came straight out of ROTC and thinks he knows everything and pretends to listen to other people. Elaine is closer to like the enlisted to like she went to like the fucking like officer conversion program. Was it like wings to bars or stripes to wings or whatever it was? Anyway, so we get to a point where Andor allies with the Dragon Reborn. Very, very publicly stated of its own accord, even though the Queen's kind of fucking the Dragon Reborn. But this new military alliance, because Andor does undeniably have the strongest military of the Midwestland. They're the only country in the Midwestland. So, strongest military in the majority of the Westlands. Illian and Tyr can't compete because they've been too busy fighting each other. Slider bar doesn't work. Altara doesn't have a strong enough military for it. Amadisia is basically just the White Cloaks, so it's just fighting the White Cloaks, so who really cares? Geldon has been roiled in civil war, so basically has no military left. Terabon doesn't have a whole lot left going for it. I mean, it hasn't been too fucked with, but it's never been military focused. Eric Damon's been kind of a slight bit ravaged, and then, well, I also forgot, Altara's been ravaged by the invasion of Ebudar, and apparently I just lagged out, so I don't know how that worked out for y'all. But
I heard everything.
oh, sweet. I just saw everything jump, and I was like, oh, well, I lagged out. That's fantastic. Anyway, so all of that is going on. But now you have Andor, the kind of like core area of staging and military power that's now allied with the Dragon Reborn for one reason or another. So the question then becomes, does Andor manage to remain a nation in the old sense, or would it still be fair to consider it part of the larger dragon-led coalition? Can't hear it. Oh, there we go. We heard. Look at somebody posting here. Oh, my internet's going funky.
So I think as far as Andor, I feel like it kind of gives it a chance to become an even greater like superpower of a nation, because in becoming that staging ground, it brings all of the the best weapons, all of the innovation, all of the best fighters, even
The finances.
the finances too. Yeah,
We have the Andoran crown.
that's right. And like even we get a lot of the mercenary bands that come to Andor as well. And you even think after the battle, a lot of those people will kind of stay where they think is the best chance of success. And so like some of the mercenaries, yes, will move around, but others, they'll probably stay in Andor. They'll join their actual military. Um, a lot of people will kind of stay because that will bring about progress that will continue after the last battle. Because you have so many resources and great minds as well in Andor. So I think that kind of gives them almost a head start for becoming kind of a hub after.
Oh, hubba hubba.
Hmm.
I don't know why that's where my brain went, but
You
no,
can
I they have a massive amount of negotiating power because like here's the thing, and let me super quick save this image, downloads. I'll do it on the fucking desktop. Who gives a shit? Fuck it, we'll do it live. So as soon as it loads, I'm gonna show you. Here's a political map. Andor is central. Like the blue you see in the middle of the map, that's the claimed lands of Altara. But Andor is like they're just in the middle, and there's a lot of bonus you get to just being in the middle. You are the prime coalescing point for anything that doesn't have a dedicated like direct action point. So if I need, well, not when you have gateways, I guess it doesn't fucking matter anymore. I forgot about magic. Duh. But Andor
Well, the
has made
application.
Andor has made itself like a central hub for pass through trade, land trade. So without traveling, Andor's like, I just fucking charge a toll on this road and this road, and I make buku bucks, and I can ignore Amon's Field clearly, even though Tam
Like
Althor
I've
fought
been
so
doing
hard for
for
Illian.
years.
Yeah. Which I think is still one of the best arguments between like Perrin and Elaine. When she's like, "What the fuck do you mean you're the Lord of the Two Rivers? That's part of Andor." And Perrin's like, "When is the last time any of you have seen the Two Rivers, much less Amon's Field?" And she's like, "We'll send patrols now." And he's like, I have a militia." You're muted still, Josh.
He says, "Good fucking luck."
He just hoisted the no step on wolf snake flag. But yes, but they're in a great position because one, the other tie that strangely that we haven't mentioned yet, the Black Tower. I mean, I don't know how much of it's not an emotional tie for Rand, it's a necessity tie for Rand because obviously he built it out of necessity or wanted it out of necessity and then only looked at it twice. You know, like a weird, awkward sexual encounter in Thailand in Boys Town. But, hey, enjoy yourself.
What you gotta do?
But it's important because, Rand needs Andor to, be amenable to him. But also like Andor still kind of just focuses on like one fucking spot. If you're not in the easternmost section of Andor, they really don't give a fuck because White Bridge, Barillon, and Monsfield, that's all in like Western Andor, and they're like, can't be bothered to collect taxes. Also, I just noticed on this map, there's like this weird spot, like where Altara meets Geldon and Andor, just on the other side of Andor, where Andor meets Eridamon in the Unclaimed Land, there's a little blue spot that apparently Altara claims for who knows what fucking reason, just
You
south
know,
of Qatar.
there's an interesting thing about this too, is that it lends itself to why the Two Rivers is that remote. They are world famous for wool and tobacco, and yet the Queen of Andor just can't be bothered to make her presence known in the Two
Because
Rivers.
she can't be bothered with that Two Rivers wacky tobacco. They'd be having too much fun herding sheep, if you know what I mean. Actually, turns out there's no sheep at all in the entirety of the Two Rivers. It's just other shit. All right, quick go over the third country, Illian, from
Do
the
it.
Council of 9 down to 1 crown. Before Rand, they're ruled by the Council of 9 and the King of Illian. They focus on maritime and trade focus economy, and they are famous for their mercenaries and competitive politics. They have a strong identity tied to seafaring and festivals. They have the Feast of Lights, which hopefully you remember from the books. If you don't, you should go back and read it. It's a really cool, good time. It's one of the I think it's one of the first times that the Amon Fielders or any of the Amon Fielders get to witness like a foreign festival other than like Beltane. Rand takes over by defeating Samael, and I'm talking slow because I'm talking slow because I was looking up. So the crown that he takes over, that he takes control of initially in Illian, is the laurel crown. The laurel crown, I think, symbolizes it's just laurel, like the laurel wreath, which is a symbol of triumph, a wreath made of connected branches and leaves of the bay laurel, which is also very aromatic, so it smells good. But it's a symbol of triumph and wealth. For you fair Irish folks that
Or eucalyptus.
yeah. But after Rand dispatches Samael, not by himself. There's some help. There's some help. He suspends the Council of Nine's independent power. And in his mind, he does it because he can't trust that none of them are influenced still by Samael or Dark Friends. It's probably a fair assumption because Illian has been ruled by Samael now for like fucking at least handful of years, like 1 or 2. And it gets renamed, and it's a book name. What is it, Reese? It's a crown. It's also a book name.
Swords.
Yeah, a crown of swords.
Look at me.
The centralized power of Illian gets driven home in the crown of swords that has swords pointing up and down on it that go around that. And Rand frequently remarks about how much it pokes into his skull. For those of you Christian-oriented folk or Judaism-oriented folk, that will be hallmarks back to the crown of thorns that Jesus wore. If you are ever wondering maybe why there was such a focus on Rand mentioning the pokes into his skull that on occasion could draw blood. Yeah. Anyway, political ramifications. He centralized authority. There's no more balance between kind of like a executive branch and a more congressional kind of branch. That's not the name for it. It's like congressional, judiciary, and
Legislative.
that one. There's no more legislative branch, no more parliamentary procedures. There's not a council anymore. What Rand says goes for Illian now, which is doubly hard for the Illianers to deal with because he rules Tyr. Tyr's the enemy. They be fucking with our trade. But now they've got to realign everything. Now they've got to Rand did some smart stuff before this with the help of Moraine and Tom by sending grain from like Tyr to Illian, and like whenever they were facing some issues. And so like now Illian's like, we fucking hate Tyr, but also we'd be dead if it wasn't for them. What the fuck do we do? And it's like, well, you now all have the same boss, so maybe just listen as I now default to showing up in Illian, and I never go back really to the Stone of Tyr, even though that's the first place where my power started. Dick move, Rand. You never went back to where you started. You forgot your origins. You already outgrew your start.
Hmm.
You fucking Dragon McAsshole. But now everything that Illian is doing is now realigned and refocused on the furthering. Um, yeah, this is what, and he says, "Now I have a machine gun." Ho ho ho!
Ho, ho, ho.
You will find the schematics for this particular machine gun on
Now
page
I
394.
have a machine gun. Ho,
Bruh.
ho, ho.
Suck lead, James Potter.
Moment of just epicness for
Do it.
Alan Rickman. Love him. Love him. Love the man. Love him so much. Gone too soon.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. All right. I think we've done this to death. Reese, do you have any final thoughts? Do you have anything you want to say? Do you have anything you want to get out? Say to the universe?
Sure.
Do it.
Wait, about this topic?
Whatever you want to say.
No, I think this is an interesting one because we know so much about the breaking of the world with Luz Theron that we don't really think of it so much with this, but the world really is broken again, just not shattered in a physical sense. The borders change, the rulers change their ideals, the ruling parties change their there's so much that goes into it that even he even forces trade. I like when he like forces trade between countries that didn't want to before. He's like, nope, you're gonna do it because your people need it, so you're gonna
I don't
trade,
want.
you're gonna get along, and here we go, commerce. And it's even like that. He breaks the culture, the cultural world. He breaks the cultural world, and
That
probably for the better.
do.
It seems like it.
The 9 bees and the 3 moons will trade again, and the dragon will surf on the winds of time. Huh?
Oh, hey. For everybody who has managed to survive this long in the episode, hey, thank you. We love you. We're grateful to you. It's a true story. I was just telling Andrew the other day, you know what I'm grateful for? People who listen to the entire episode. And people who listen to the entire episode get super cool information like this. Andrew, what are some good hashtags people can follow for the Gathering Madness?
Uh, hashtag TGM, hashtag TGM25, hashtag the Gathering Madness, hashtag how many tricks is Andrew's balls going to do this time. It's a very long hashtag, but
I'm
long
using that one.
hashtag, short
I'm
nuts.
using that one.
Just hashtag Black Tower podcast. There's not a whole lot of us out there just doing random shit, so there's that. I think TGM 25 is going to be one of the favorite ones because it'll denote from past Gathering Madnesses. Y'all, we got to make this a great one because this is
We're going
Reese's.
to the mountain.
This is Reese's first Gathering Madness as
Correct.
a Mahale.
It's
This
true.
and it's not even our first one as a Mahale. It's our first one.
It's my very first one.
It's my first time. Be gentle.
You said it, not me. But for real,
I'm just trying to be
go
considerate. I don't know
to
what you're insinuating.
blacktowerpod.com/TGM and look for the informations. And if you go to the website and you go to the Alaskan Inn and you go, oh God, that's a little too much money. Guess what? That's okay.
Even without the fake ones, Reese is still
Pay-
looking through leaf curtains.
Pay the $60 for attendance. and you can still attend the event, and you can still come. You can find a hotel that's just 5-10 minutes away
Yeah.
from the Alaskan Inn. You can still stay on site. We can still make sure that you get there and are able to participate.
Yeah.
We're gonna make sure everybody has a fun time.
We're going to talk about that during the live stream this Friday. You know,
Yes.
we're not going to sit here and, you know, try
No.
to tell everybody that you got to pay like the venue price. You can get a different place, still come and hang out. By all means, we want you to be financially comfortable coming out and hanging out with us, because if you're just stressing about money the whole time, then you know it's not fun. Don't be stressing. You know, if you're just coming at this like the high lords of tier when Rand takes over, being like, oh, we'll just give you some poultry stuff, and then we look at you and go, oh no, you need to be actually focused on this event, and now you panic and half of you run away. Like, that's not good for us. That's bad optics. We don't want that. We want you to accept us more like Andor, on your own terms, where you're comfortable and it's earned and it feels equitable. Tying it into the episode, y'all, go and check out the maps that show the nations of the Wheel of Time. There's a lot more blank, unclaimed space. There could be so many Dollar Generals in the Westlands. I'm telling you.
It's true.
Dollar General would make a fucking
Dollar
killing.
General.
But also, it helps you put in perspective the actual physical landmass that Rand brings into a unified area, because it says all the lands will be unified. He only unifies Andor, Kyrian, which are two massive swaths of land.
No. The Dragon's Peace.
I'm saying he unifies under the banner of fighting against, like, not unifies as one country. Sorry.
Oh yeah. No.
He does not unify these as a
nation.
country,
Right.
so he brings them under the Dragons Coalition, right? This is a UN coalition. We're gonna go in and do good things, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the Dragons Coalition of Andor, Kyrian, Illian, Tyr, Murundi. Might as well count Geldon, because Geldon's basically a lawless state kind of at this point anyway. And the entire Borderlands, which of the claimed areas only leaves Terabon, Almadesia, which he does actually, he brings in Almadesia with Galad, thanks to Perrin. Altara, well, actually no, he gets the allegiance of Altara as well, doesn't he?
Eventually,
because Altara and Almadesia and Murundi and Illian have been fighting too.
No, those fall under the reign, quote unquote.
Oh, is that Shan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because this is where Malden
and he tells them, fine, you can keep the lands that you've already captured.
So he does get them.
Yeah.
I don't know this ever. So basically, with he basically gets a claim of bringing into the coalition everything except for Tarabon and Eric Domon, as best as I can remember. But definitely, you that are listening and watching and have dealt with an hour and a half of this bullshit, or whatever time it winds up being after the AI cuts it all. Well, not AI,
right.
The auto editor. It's not AI. It's not AI. I'm fucking sorry. Oh God.
Wow,
we're gonna get Markiplier canceled at this point now. Yeah. No, we never said we would never use AI. So, what's up, Reese?
Just getting canceled. That's all.
Oh yeah. Well, that's always our aim.
It's getting a little canceled. That's all. Just getting a little canceled.
That's one of the great things. Like, you know, you have given us unimaginable power, because if you say something horribly egregious and somebody cancels us, then now they're just fucking horribly sexist.
It's true.
You're the first female Mahale. Like,
Reese said it, not me.
Really? That's what they're gonna do to the first female Mahale?
Great plot armor. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's perfect. Why do you think you're here? I mean, it's great to have you here.
Or my first act. No, I'm just kidding. I'm making
first act is the Altheon Mahale.
I'm making virtual tickets $13.
Oh,
that's true.
That is true.
She did actually do
that. Is why they're $13. But again, like you guys know, everything that goes in the Black Tower podcast goes to making all the stuff we do for Black Tower podcast, whether it's stickers or merch that goes out for patrons or Gathering Madness events or any of that kind of stuff. It all goes straight back into it. We take nothing into pocket. Trust us. The fucking tax returns confirm. We take nothing into pocket. Quite the opposite. So there's that. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I know the end has been a little, at least for me, all kind of like over the place because I'm just hopping around mentally like a fucking kangaroo jack. Well, we hope to see you Friday for all the Q&A and everything for the Gathering Madness. If you're listening live, if you're not listening live, whenever you listen to this on Friday, maybe on your way to work, hopefully you hear that and we see you at the live, or you just pop in, ask whatever questions you have, whether it's about the podcast, whether it's about Gathering Madness, preferably Gathering Madness, but obviously, within reason, ask whatever, and we'll answer what we can. Leia, the Roof Mistress, the coordinator of the Gathering Madness, the one who gathers the madness together and tells us to wake up in the morning.
Holds it.
We'll be there, hopefully. We'll be handling all that. Tell us what you think down below in the comments on this episode about how nations changed under Rand's rule. Which nation handled Rand's rule the best? And should prophecy trump national sovereignty? That's a great fucking question right there.
Obviously, yes. Duh.
Yeah. Should the magic ethereal this will come to pass?
Yeah. Because
Trump anything you
everyone
want.
knows that people 3,000 years ago knew everything. Duh.
Hey, man.
What are you
Yeah.
He did say he
Do everything.
Guitarra did play a song about a guy taking his first breaths on the slope of Dragon Mount. And she was right. He did.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thank you all for being here. We have been the Black Tower Podcast. My name is Andrew. I'm your by John Mahel, and I think I have talked far more than I ever should in any episode.
I'm Reese, your eighth on Mahale, and I've probably talked about a medium amount.
You haven't talked enough, Reese. And
Need more. Help me. I'm under the water.
And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for tuning in for this week's Dose of Taint. And we hope that wherever you are, you leave here just a little bit more insane than you were when you first got here. And we hope that that insanity leads to you coming to the Gathering Madness.
Dun dun dun.
You've been waiting for this moment, for this feeling to grow. In the shadows, always watching, always running the show. In the tower, you can bring your pain. In the tower, you can feel the strain. You've been having so much trouble